Before we begin, if you're interested in psychology, human behavior, and powerful life lessons, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's begin. So picture this for a second. It's 9 p.m. in some busy corporate hub, right? And Amit, a 26-year-old IT worker, is still sitting at his desk. He has literally been there since 9 a.m. His monitor is glowing with this massive, soul-crushing Excel sheet, but his eyes, they're totally glued to his phone. He's watching this travel vlogger hiking through these absolutely stunning, wide-open mountains. Now, from the outside looking in, Amit's life looks pretty much perfect. He pulls in a great salary, his parents are super proud, and his friends are definitely jealous of his success. But on the inside, Amit just feels completely hollow. He is exhausted, he's totally numb, and he feels trapped in this endless repeating cycle. And the psychology behind that specific feeling? Well, it's something millions of us experience every single day.
Which brings us to a really terrifying question. It's one that Amit, and honestly, maybe even you, might be asking during that brutal morning commute. Is this the rest of your life? There is a massive, profound psychological toll to just living your life on autopilot. You know the drill. It's that tragedy of waking up, fighting through traffic, sitting in a gray cubicle, coming home completely drained, just trying to survive until the weekend, and then doing the whole shebang all over again until Monday morning triggers that exact same sense of dread. The poet Pash actually once wrote that the most dangerous thing in the world isn't some physical threat. No, the most dangerous thing is being filled with a dead silence and just watching the slow dying of your dreams. So that begs the question, how many people are actually walking around living with this dead silence?
Well, the sheer scale of this is absolutely staggering. Look at this. A massive 2024 Gallup survey that looked at over 160 countries found that only 23% of global workers are actually truly engaged in what they do. Just 23%. That means a mind-blowing 77% of the entire global workforce is either actively disengaged or doing that whole quiet quitting thing. They are showing up physically, sure, but psychologically, they checked out a long time ago. They're just silently suffering in a routine that totally drains their soul.
And look, ignoring this lack of passion, it isn't just a sad personal reality. It is incredibly costly on a massive scale. Because that engaged 23%, they aren't just happier people. Human behavior data actually shows they are 18% more productive. And get this, their companies are 23% more profitable. So finding your purpose is not just some luxury for the privileged few. Ignoring it is actually devastating to your mental health, to the people around you, and yeah, even to the global economy. But why are so many of us stuck in this trap in the first place?
Section 1. The Passion Myth.
So, we've all heard that classic advice, right? Just follow your passion. We've all seen those motivational clips telling us to just look deep inside our hearts, and our true purpose is just going to magically reveal itself. But for someone like Amit, looking inside just causes panic. He looks inside and he finds, well, nothing. And then he blames himself. He thinks he's just broken. But a landmark 2018 study out of Stanford University completely unpacked why this standard advice is actually super toxic. See, when people believe passion is this hidden treasure they just have to go find, they get trapped in a fixed mindset. They just sit there passively, waiting for some magical light bulb moment. But the researchers found that passion is actually a growth process. It's not a hidden treasure. It's a plant you have to grow. You don't just find it, you build it by trying things out, getting good at them, and letting the passion blossom from the mastery and autonomy that you develop over time.
The problem is, society doesn't exactly want you to explore, does it? It kind of wants to lock you in. Let's look at how this builds into what we can call the golden cage. Just look at Amit's timeline here. At age 16, there's this immense pressure to join expensive coaching classes for engineering. By 22, he's carrying a massive education loan, right? So he grabs a job just to pay it off. At 24, he buys a bike on EMI. Then, at 26, boom, the pressure hits to buy a house, and he signs his life away on a 20-year home loan. It's like every single problem in life is solved by buying something new, and every new purchase means a brand new EMI. And when literally your entire paycheck is swallowed by debt, walking away from a toxic job feels psychologically impossible.
And this cage, it is heavily reinforced by the FOMO trap, the fear of missing out. You scroll online, you see your peers taking these lavish foreign trips, buying expensive cars, and you feel this immense, crushing psychological pressure to just keep up. Throw in our modern hustle culture that tries to rebrand a 70-hour work week as dedication, and you've got a perfect recipe for total burnout. People push down their inner desires so deeply that their bodies literally start fighting back. For Amit, suppressing all that eventually showed up as severe anxiety and a terrifying middle-of-the-night trip to the ER for a panic attack.
Section 2. The Power of Flow. So how do you actually break out of this cage safely? Well, I want you to meet Neha. She's a 34-year-old mother of two who got married right out of high school, but had always secretly dreamed of being a chef. Now, for 10 whole years, she kept telling herself she missed her window. But one day, she decided to bake this beautiful cake for her son's birthday. A neighbor saw it, posted a pic in a group chat, and suddenly, bam, Neha gets 3 orders. Now, full disclosure, her first cake for a real customer was a total disaster and she literally almost gave up. But she made the really uncomfortable choice to try again. And when she did, something kind of incredible happened in her brain. In psychology, this is known as the flow state, a concept introduced by Mihail Csikszentmihalyi. When Neha was baking, she became so completely immersed in the task that time just faded away. She wasn't hungry, she didn't check her phone once, her mind and body were 100% focused, yet she felt profoundly relaxed. When you find a task that perfectly matches your skill level, not too easy, not too hard, you enter this flow state, which can actually boost your productivity by up to 500%. And here's the secret. You don't discover this by overthinking. You discover it by doing. But right now, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I even know what to try in the first place? Well, in his brilliant research, author David Epstein noticed that the absolute greatest performers, think legends like Roger Federer or MS Dhoni, they didn't specialize right away. They had what he calls a sampling period, where they played dozens of different sports. Epstein wrote this amazing quote, "Late specializers lose in the short term and win in the long run." Think about it. There are over 12,000 recognized career categories out there in the world, yet most of us are exposed to, maybe 15 in school? If you don't know what your passion is, it is absolutely not your fault. It's just a lack of exposure. You simply have to get out there and sample the world.
Section 3. Developing True Grit.
So, back to Amit. After his panic attack, he realized he desperately needed something that was just for him. He actually remembered this old childhood interest, wood carving, with his grandfather. So one weekend, he just bought some tools. Those first 45 minutes? Oh, they were terrible. His hands were shaking, the wood looked awful. But for those 45 minutes, he didn't check his phone a single time. He had found his spark. But here's the thing. A spark is not enough. You need the science of actually sticking with it. And that brings us to a massively important psychological concept called grit. Coined by researcher Angela Duckworth, grit is defined simply as passion combined with perseverance. Duckworth did these huge studies on everyone from spelling bee champions to elite military cadets, and she proved that the ultimate predictor of success is not natural talent, it's not your IQ, it's grit. It is the long-term consistency of your interest. And just like passion, grit isn't something you're magically born with. You build it through deliberate daily practice. It's the conscious choice to show up, especially when things get frustrating. And honestly, here is some fantastic news for you. It does not take 10,000 hours to figure out if a skill is right for you. According to author Josh Kaufman's 20-hour rule, it only takes 20 hours of deliberate practice to go from knowing absolutely nothing to being reasonably good at a brand new skill. If you just dedicate, say, 45 minutes a day for about a month, you will break right through that initial barrier of frustration. And then you'll actually know if this is an activity that can trigger your flow state.
Section 4. The 3E Formula.
All right, based on all this human behavior research, we can distill this entire journey into a highly actionable, science-backed framework. It's for anyone caught in that middle-class trap who needs a practical, realistic way out. I call it the 3E Formula. Step 1 is explore. Widen your world. Honestly, just look up lists of different careers and hobbies. Spend 30 minutes a day for 30 days doing nothing but reading about 30 different fields. Step 2 is engage. Pick the top 5 that actually excite you and go get your hands dirty. Commit 20 hours to a real-world side project for each one. Bake the cake, write the blog, carve the wood. And finally, step 3 is excel. Out of those 5, pick the one that gives you that true flow state and use your grit to push through the inevitable grind. Build your skills until you are simply too good to be ignored. Now, I know some of you are probably worried that obsessing over a side passion is going to ruin your actual career. But listen to this. A super fascinating study out of San Francisco University proved that having a passion project outside of work actually improves your performance at your primary 9-to-5 job. Seriously, it significantly reduces burnout, it boosts your creative problem solving, and it acts as this incredible psychological buffer against toxic stress. It is not an either-or situation. Your side passion actually helps heal the numbness that your day job might be causing.
Section 5. Building your Ikigai.
As you start building these skills, you enter this really beautiful transition phase. See, Amit didn't just walk in and quit his IT job the next day. He spent 2 years honing his wood carving skills on evenings and weekends. Neha, she started her cloud kitchen using just her standard home oven. But over time, as they both started to excel, those weekend projects slowly turned into actual, reliable side incomes. They were practicing Ikigai, which is your reason for waking up in the morning. In places like Okinawa, Japan, people live incredibly long, healthy lives, largely because they maintain their ikigai. It's essentially the sweet spot at the intersection of 4 pillars: what you love doing, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can actually be paid for. But remember that Stanford study from earlier? Your ikigai is not some puzzle you just solve on a napkin in 5 minutes. It is a state of being that you carefully build and construct over months and years of exploring, engaging, and excelling. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now. Look, I'm just too old for this. I should have figured this all out in my 20s. Let me stop you right there. The data actually shows that the global average age for someone making a major career change is 39 years old. 39! Neha started at 34. And yeah, maybe you kind of wish you started at 24, but starting at 34 is infinitely better than waking up at 44 and realizing you did absolutely nothing. Age is a psychological barrier, guys. It is not a physical one.
So if you're feeling this inner restlessness right now, if you have this voice telling you there has to be more to your life than just paying off EMIs and staring blankly at a screen, please do not suppress it. That restlessness is literally the most valuable thing you possess. It is your mind begging you to engage with the world. So do me a favor, take 30 minutes tonight, just explore something new. If this video helped you understand people a little better, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more psychology insights. Your support helps this channel grow and allows me to create more videos like this. See you in the next one. Remember, understanding people is powerful, but understanding